Mike and I often talk about Managerial Economics 101. It's a fundamental principle that is based on the rules of international trade, actually, the idea of comparative advantage and the cost of labor, the cost of goods. And it says this: if two people in an organization, a boss and a subordinate, a manager and her direct, if two people can do a job, whether it's preparing a report, running a meeting, filing a budget, attending a corporate outing, anything. If two people can do a job, the subordinate, the direct, should do the job. And we use the word should lightly. We don't use the word should lightly here. We recommend that the direct do it rather than the manager. And managerial economics, the reason we call this managerial economics is because if you assume that the quality is roughly the same between what a manager does and what a direct does, then why not have the direct do it? Because the reason, or you're paid more as a manager, and so therefore your labor costs are higher. If you can have two people work on your house and make improvements on the house, one of them costs $1,000, one of them costs $2,000, and it's reasonable to assume that both of them are going to do the same level of quality work, why wouldn't you hire the person that does it for $1,000? And not only that, but not only if the direct does it at a slightly lower dollar amount, it costs the company less money, and now the time that you would have spent doing it, you can do on you can spend on something else, which by definition, because you get paid more, has more value added for the organization. This is Managerial Economics 101, and it goes to the issue of fundamental delegation. The more we can delegate, if our directs can do it, then they should do it, or we recommend that a direct learn how to do it. Now, there are two important caveats associated with managerial economics. The first one we call the behavioral model of Managerial Economics 101, and the downside of it is when managers say, don't worry, I'll do it, or I'll do it myself. The problem is managers know that it would be better for the direct to do it, but because they know the first time or two or three that the direct is going to do it, that it's going to be lower quality, the manager says, no, 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 I'll do it. And oftentimes, when we're managers and we do it, it sounds like we get irritated. You know, maybe if you were good, I could delegate this to you, but I really can't, so just leave me. I'll do it. Fine, just get out of the way. I'll do it. And I've actually seen managers push people, physically push their directs. And these are two adults, right? The direct may actually be older than the manager, and the manager just pushes them away and says, I'm going to do it. IT people who are called in to fix, from the help desk, called to fix things, often tell people, get out of the chair. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do it, which of course increases the chances that the direct can't solve the problem the next time, and the IT person has to spend money and time coming and actually typing what looks to be secret stuff, but in fact is not, and there's no delegation there, although that's not a boss and subordinate, a manager in a direct situation. Managerial economics and the I'll do it theory means that managers don't want to delegate because of the period of time in the first few instances where the direct doesn't do it as well as the manager. The problem with that is we're focusing on the short-term slight dip in quality in return for, and saying no, rather than thinking, you know, after 3 or 4, when he or she gets as good as me, there are going to be 100 instances of this. Yeah, these 3 or 4 will be lower quality, but unless it's whether or not we're going to be broke or not, that low quality for a period of 3 weeks is not nearly as important as the efficiencies gained by having the direct do it for 100 times going forward in the future, particularly if it's something that happens once or twice a week. When you as a manager, when we as managers say to ourselves, I'll do it, when you know a direct could be made to do it or help to do it in a way after a short dip in quality, we are essentially spending corporate resources that we don't have. We're putting our personal preference for efficiency now at the expense, we're putting that over the value to the corporation of teaching our directs how to do it. We've got to learn how to delegate. We've got to trust our directs to do something almost as good as we have, in return for them becoming as good as we are for a long time in the future. Let's not be penny wise and pound foolish. Let's not focus on this week and next week. Let's focus on the future, and let's not allow Managerial Economics 101 to work against us by saying, I'll do it.